Welcome on in everyone to a brand new Total War Warhammer 3 series. With the first drop of our embargo, I can finally show you all some Tamurkhan, the Maggot Lord, and I am so excited to show you all three of the brand new lords here coming with the Thrones of Decay. For Tamurkhan, we have his warhost emerges from the fallen city, the Maggot Lord intent on proving his supremacy as Nurgle's most powerful champion. This series is going to be going up every other day, and it's going to be our normal uploads, so we will not have any kind of cinematic battles. This one's going to be all fought on battlefield by me. For our settings this time, it's going to be on very hard, because just in case we have any issues with the transfer over to update 5.0, I don't want to actually launch his proper. Since you can see the development and progress tab, everything that we are playing through here is subject to change, although it's probably going to be very minor if any changes are made. We're going to be playing on a very hard difficulty, with no in-game timer. Since we are Chaos, it just makes it actually more difficult on our enemies, not ourselves. So we will also be playing with Battle Realism off, and then the AI stats modifier set to neutral. That way all of our enemies and ourselves units are going to be performing exactly as they should in lore. Let's come on back over to Nurgle, and we'll show off Tamurkhan's starting army. He's actually going to begin with a pretty nasty host, filled up with Plague Ogres, which are an incredible looking unit. I can't wait to show you all. The Chaos Warriors of Nurgle with great weapons, which are great. Some Pestigores, which are again another awesome unit that the Beastmen are actually going to get access to. So the more beastly units, they have a one-time chain effect that's going to be slowing enemies by a heap and weakening their vigor as well. We've also got some Rot Knights, which are the new monstrous cavalry, which are quite fast and have a heap of anti-armor and armor piercing, or anti-armor and anti-large, which is fantastic. You'll only be able to make that stronger in campaign. For our faction effects, we've got access to Tamurkhan's chieftains, providing unique heroes, units, and abilities. Also have more unit range for all of our armies by 10%, and more recruitment health for all of our non-demonic units by 10% as well. Tamurkhan's all about recruiting up some allies and his forces of mortals more than demons, so we're going to try to showcase that as much as we can. For his lord effects, he's going to have less wound recovery time by 3, since he is Nurgle's favored son, which is also going to be his ability. So he's going to be having an activated ability from the start, giving him 24 more melee defense and 20% resistance, so we can throw him right in the middle of the fray. And he's also got an ability where if he does go down, he will be sapping the enemy lord or heroes that are nearby of their health, and regenerating himself, which is hilarious. He's also got 5 more melee attack for all non-demonic units, and then immune to psychology from all non-demonic units, which is great. We're going to be starting smack dab in, I believe, Zanbaijin here on the map. And then for his, we'll try this lore once more. Tamurkhan, the Maggot Lord, has been known by many names, each more vile and grotesque than the last. As a powerful Chaos Lord and one of the greatest Kurgan champions of Nurgle in recent history, his divine patron has blessed him with the ability to burrow into almost any host, taking control of their body as if he were its puppet master. Though his reeking maggot corpse has commandeered many faces, the ogre tyrant Karaka Break Mountain has become a favorite host. In such a powerful body, Tamurkhan now gathers his great horde, determined to fulfill a twisted prophecy that tells of a horrific reign of terror across the Chaos Wastes and beyond. Death and disease shall run rampant in the bringers of desolation's wake, for his hordes are seemingly endless and bent on destroying the world. Indeed. Let's get to it.
From the farthest reaches of the Chaos Wastes, he came, spreading decay in the name of Nurgle. Many heroes fought fiercely to defend their lands, but all fell. Their lifeless corpses, pierced by his razor-barbed teeth. Powerful fighters, made unwilling host to the Maggot Lord. And so, Tamurkhan remains a parasite in the putrefying body of an ogre tyrant, amassing a war host the likes of which has never been witnessed. Rot will consume all.
fight or by conquest.
Indeed, it's time to unleash a tidal wave of the stinky boys. So for our past victory here with the Maggot host, Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord seeks to conquer the thrones of chaos, or the throne of chaos, as its greatest champion, wielding the plagues of Nurgle and aided by the services of powerful chieftains of chaos from across the world. Performing deeds looked upon favorably by each chieftain grants the Maggot host access to their associated units and unique powers, eventually leading to the chieftain's final battle. Having enough chieftains reach the devoted level of fealty will lead Tamurkhan to his campaign of victory. We just have to associate or gather up a squad of really, really elite stinky boys. We're just creating the offenders, basically. This is excellent. So we need to recruit Kaizek the Befouled. The weak bow before the strong, and the strong bow before the mightier still. Such is the way of the rudest powers. Thus, with a display of tremendous might, the chieftains of chaos would have no choice but to swear to you their allegiance. So we'll get into the chieftains panel as soon as we get a little bit of dominance under our control, and we will gain 1,000 favor once we do recruit in our first hero. Bonking the Dolgan on the head and teaching them the ways of Nurgle is going to be our first line of business. We're going to stuff them into these little plague things we have see all over the place. So once we actually grab the Gathering Chieftains mission, we'll get access to our chieftain panel. Then dominance we will gain through winning battles. There's probably a few other ways we can gain it, but it's probably primarily through those battles. Nurgle has also been reworked a bit, so infections are going to act much more like a secondary resource for you, where they're not only used for making plagues, but they're also used for your individual technology milestones. So since the technology tree has been fully reworked, we've got now the faction side, which is going to be buffing up how you play on the actual campaign map. There is a lot of good stuff here. And then the military side is actually going to be buffing your troops in battle. So you actually start off with the Fecundity ability. So after 2 turns, you'll gain access to the secondary army ability. So as long as you've lost enough troops, you can start healing them up, which is great, and that affects up to 5 units. From there, it breaks down further into 3 categories. You've got your cavalry, war beasts, chariots, and flyers. You've got your plague beasts, which could be your single entities, plague ogres, and then the spawn. And then your monsters abundance is going to be all of your infantry. Further breaks down into non-demonic and demonic. And the Children of Nurgle is one of the best research abilities to gain right off the bat, because expert charge defense for all of your demonic infantry means that people will be shattering against your wall quite quickly. The final upgrades are going to be very, very good, but they're going to be costing you an absolute ton of infections, so it's going to be quite an important little resource for us. We are going to begin with the Fecundity ability, and then we're going to show off a little bit more filthiness here with Nurgle, where there's a little bit of cheese you're not supposed to be able to do, but we'll show it off, that way CA is aware of it and it gets rid of it. If it's not gotten rid of, you all can utilize it as well. So you start with 200 infections, but your Plague Cauldron is not supposed to unlock until you actually earn 200 infections. You can speed this along, of course, by coming on in and grabbing, oh, I would love a Rancid Aloe, and then deciding maybe not this time. And look at that, plagues are now unlocked. Filthy, just as Nurgle intended. So we can now, right off the bat, come on into our brand new Plague Screen, where before you had a series of beginner symptoms that would unlock further symptoms as you just use those plagues and they spread a certain number of times. Now you've got this web, which is excellent, where you're always going to have 3 effects, and it's going to have effects based on Nurgle and non-Nurglish factions every single time. You can then also come on in to modify the plague for an additional 50 infections per, where you can increase how much it spreads, you can increase the duration up to 6, and you can decrease the immunity duration. So after you spread a plague of any kind, that army or settlement is going to be immune to further plagues for a certain amount of time. You can drop that down, that way you can keep spreading plagues with impunity, which is great. You also will then pick a target and infect them or summon a cultist. It doesn't cost more to summon a cultist this time, it is the exact same amount either way. We're going to come on in right off the bat here and grab a casualty replenishment rate, a little bit of growth, and then also some recruitment health for our units, which sounds excellent. We will then infect Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord, because he will be able to then recruit troops for a little bit more health, and then we can spread over this plague to the Gallows Tree, then hopefully back to Zanbaijin as well, so 50 more growth on both will be insanely good. We will now give a liquefying mouth to Tamurkhan. Congratulations. You win. Alright, now we're all infected up. We can come on into our summonable units, and anytime I'm able to summon units in for a faction, I always do so. So we're going to grab the Beast Nurgle and these 2 Plague Toads for some beaters. Recruit them on in. And then before I forget, we're going to come on in and grab the Weeping Creepers for some growth. The reason they give you 200 infections off the start is because your military buildings are now going to cost infections to actually build in. You can also spend infections to rush them to the next cycle, which is great. Your basic military is going to cost 200 of them, and your advanced military is going to cost 400. So quite a bit more, but these also are going to give you some secondary benefits of increased recruitment pool size for all of your units, which is pretty good. We'll just come on in for some basic growth and corruption. And then we deliver some bonk to Karen. Bring it on, sir. Oh, you poor fool. And actually, since we got that plague on, instead of getting 11 plague toads, which is your normal amount for recruiting them off base, we have 12. So one additional toad per model, or per unit. Before we dive into battle, let's show off the graphic settings for those interested. Here's what we're looking at. And Nurgle actually even has its own brand new kind of color scheme, where before they were using the Skaven Warpstone green, now they've got their own sickly green, which is just horrifying looking. Back to it. And let's good old smash the Dolgan. These poor horse riders. They didn't have any. They've got a couple of trolls this time, so maybe they can hold the line? I'm thinking not. Alright, let's get to deploying and then checking out our brand new units. So our warriors have all of the armor, 100 armor each, and the Pestigors are sitting at 35. They do have Vanguard deployment. Hide the Forest, of course, are immune to psychology since they are immortals. Woodsmen, which is good for, I guess, sprinting through those trees like they don't exist. Not quite as good as Strider, but we'll take it. So I will probably deploy these lads in a way that'll allow them to deal with those Marauder Hunters. Have them come running through the forest here. That would be great. There are the Marauder Berserkers in the way over there, but we'll have our Plague Ogres smash into them. No more warriors, we'll just spread out. Want the beasts up front, and the warriors can smash in behind them. Because the beasts can catch up the other set of trolls while the Rot Knights crash in from there. She's much more calculated than your normal Nurgle attack. So the good old ToD's in behind our Rot Knights. They're much slower at 65 speed instead of 75. So they will be lagging behind a bit. We'll have to keep a little bit of a closer eye on them. They bounce quickly, but not that quickly. Let's take a look at our brand new units. We will start, of course, with Tamurkhan himself. He is a hulking, mostly... He's decrepit looking, isn't he? So he's mostly rotten. He absolutely is. And the only part that is Tamurkhan himself is this bit in the middle, this little slit down his belly. You can see the teeth that is the, and of course the tongue that is the actual worm of Tamurkhan himself. So the rest of this is just a puppet, which is nice and horrifying. Begs the question of why, if he loved this Ogre Tyrant so much, he didn't just go find another one. But we won't go into that. For our Pestigors, few of them actually have the single horn, which is incredible looking. These guys look great comparatively to what we got with these Zangors, who still look good, but this is much more corrupted looking. They look like proper beasts own Nurgle. If I can find any of these single horn variants, there's one here. Look at him. The derpy looking single horn. A sign that he has been chosen by Nurgle. Now on to our Plague Ogres. And these guys are disgusting and have some horrifying animations. Well, they'll rip a... Let's see if we can see one before I spoil it, but look at all the goop that comes out of them. They've got one where they'll find a random grub sticking out of them and pull it out and have a snack. It's rightfully horrifying. They're disgusting. No horrifying animations for us this time, so we'll come on over to the Rot Knights. We're basically, I guess, a tier up from Forsaken. Right on horrifying looking lizard beasts. Combined with dogs. I think Sotek put it great best. These are dogs mixed with lizards, mixed with some kind of horrible cancer. Look at these poor fellas here. They are one step away from just evolving fully into, this guy's missing a nose. Evolving fully into Chaos Spawn. Probably fusing with these beasts even. We've of course got our lovely toads. My previous favorite unit that Nurgle has. They're not the best, but look at them. Great big happy toads. They would much prefer just to be lounging around in the swamps of Nurgle, but they're here out for battle, and so they're here to beat the brakes off of you and get back to lounging as fast as possible. Let's get to it. No real reason for any groups here this time. We're just gonna go straight at them. That's of course come hang out in the woods here. In fact, we're gonna kind of come through the woods, that way you're gonna go after these north controls, whereas the beast is gonna go smash the other group. You go wide. Send the toadies in from the other way, and we'll just kind of send them through the line where the rot knights will hit the north controls. Send the toads after the guys in the back line. We actually will get some pretty good damage in on Tamurkhan if we're not careful.
Warriors of Nurgle, a sickly scheme.
Glowing Axe Warriors are never weak. That armor piercing damage allows them to get a lot more than you expect every time. I think I'll come right on down the hill after us, huh? Sounds good to me. You go ahead and smash into him. We'll go ahead and send Tamurkhan around. And smash him in from behind here, since they're not going to expect it. No one expects the Tamurkhan Inquisition. Now you're getting flanked by warriors of Nurgle. That is a bad time for everyone. These trolls have smashed into our toadies, though, because I wasn't paying close enough attention. I might lose a few of our toads. Tamurkhan, you get after these trolls. Lost a few toads in the initial brawl with the trolls. We'll send the toads on through, let the rot knights deal with those poor unfortunate trolls. Get a bit surrounded with these warriors of Nurgle, so let's deal with these trolls quickly, and then we'll send the plague ogres through. Crunch them. Indeed. As you deal with these Norse controls, we'll get some slow-mo combat scenes here. Astigors should be fast enough to actually keep up with them. Bring those axes down. Those don't just get battered aside, of course. Plague ogres ripping through. They'll actually throw out poison with each swing of their blade, which is really cool looking. I got a kick. The new combat animations on some of the new models are pretty fantastic compared to some of the old stuff, where they will rip right through several units at once. Here comes our beast. So the Rod Knight's in to smash him in the back of here too. The old slow motion charges are awesome. He just wants a hug. He's way stronger than he thinks he is. And smash the Rot Knights. Normal Norskins don't stand a chance. Tamurkhan will start bullying the chieftain. We'll have the beast do the same. And that's gonna be that. Those are having an absolute field day back in the back, having a snack. Light armor means less indigestion. They're dead. We'll send everyone out to gather up as many casualties as possible. Poison coming off of Tamurkhan's blade. I'll catch you all in a moment. Alright, and in the load screen there, I did just realize the Dolgan being our first enemy means that we are going to be throwing hands with Kolak first, which is slightly terrifying. More weapon damage and leadership. This seems great for our Plague Ogres, who already have quite a bit of damage. You also just give it to Tamurkhan for win more. Let's do good old incubation for more lovely infections. I was saying, we've got to pack them right in these little land tumors we've got here. They'll get defeated, 50 more infections, and that's looks like 6 dominance, but we don't have enough to unlock our gathering chieftains. So what is this from? Groom Kaizak. How do we do so? I guess after unlocking maybe 1 more dominance? We can do that. So Tamurkhan, I think we just want to make you an absolute monster, so let's go for Infernal Champion here. Root Marcher's a good one to grab. We'll probably snag that one once we have acquired the Gallows Tree. Alright, we're definitely going to keep fighting these first few battles. I love your braided beard here, Dolgan. Too bad we're going to have to punch it right down your neck. So if we give this to Tamurkhan, increase him from 551 up to... Oh, it has to be when he's winning, so it'll only apply then. Let's do the Plague Ogres. That will allow them to hit quite a bit harder. 110 armor piercing with how much anti-infantry? 26 is a lot. Sounds good to me. Alright, part 2. I do like that it sets you up in the same kind of formation as before. Only thing I'm going to change is putting the ogres behind everyone else. That way they try to surround our great weapons, and then I can smash the ogres in wherever I want. Pestigors hide in the woods over here. I don't really want to utilize all of their vanguard deploy, because I want them next to our armies. We don't really move that quick as Nurgle. This time it's going to be Rot Knights versus Marauder Horsemen, which is not a fun battle. They're quite a bit faster. We'll want them to kind of move in and be foolish, and then we'll charge. Need that armor to hold out for a moment. We've got 80, and Javelins don't have a lot of actual armor piercing, so we should be good for at least a volley or two. Let it begin. Same battle map as last time, so we'll just gotta move across. Sweep in as a horde. I'll just tell Tamurkhan to go hug Evalder Krakenbite. As soon as we capture this settlement here, we'll put in our first, I guess our secondary lord. These are just Marauder Spearmen. We'll have you smash into them, and everyone else can file in behind you. Bonus versus large or not, it's not going to help them.
Befoulment comes. Nurgle's favorite.
You move up, smashing into these Marauders.
Consider it done.
You hit these lads. Do a bit of something like this.
Pestilence comes.
Much prefer the armor-piercing axes go on the Plague Toads than our Rot Knights, so let's charge in like this. Plague Ogres, you move in on wherever you want there. And Javelins hurt a little bit. Let's cycle in to catch them, that way they're not going anywhere. Looks like now we actually do get to build up the meter based on poison effects as well, so as long as we're applying poison, yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of return fire. Extra melee defense. Guys, fall back a bit. No reason to charge in where we're... This is gonna be nasty. Don't like the shenanigans you guys are up to trying to get my toads. The toads won that one pretty handily, though. Alright, great axes, you head this way. Pestigors will just keep these guys running. Actually, Pestigors can hold these normal Marauders in just fine. They need more slow-mo to see these fights. Pestigors against normal lads. Those axes chopping. Each little swing applies a little poison cloud on the enemy. That is awesome. This may just be a new poison effect on how poison looks in general. Another great axes moving on in, but it looks like the majority of the 4 Norskins are already dealt with. Those spears. Gonna give good old Krakenbite here another hug.
Crush and bleed.
Awesome, those animations, Tamurkhan, or on our ogres, that's fun. Gives him a huge wind up. Completely unnecessary with the axe that's twice the size of a man. I love the poison effects on the axe every time it swings. That is a excellent addition. Oh, Norska flees for the hills. We're going to keep smashing them up for the experience and infections, and I'll catch you guys in a moment. Alright, we claim another very easy win, only losing 20 in the fighting, just a couple of our warriors and our pestigors. We are going to absolutely abuse every single new province we gain, so I'm going to sack it first. Tamurkhan's chieftains have been unlocked, and then we're going to turn right back around, and we are going to loot and occupy it. Trying to force ourselves a rebellion here very early on. Datha is secured. We are dropping by 41, so at this rate it'll be a rebellion in 3 turns. Love to see it. Now we've unlocked Tamurkhan's chieftains. This is going to be the brand new, or I guess the campaign mechanic screen for Tamurkhan directly. We'll be having our dominance up at the top, and that is going to be the main resource we're spending here. So in order to actually recruit Kazak the Defiled, we will need to spend 7 of our built-up devotion, which we already have, our dominance, that is. Kazak, to be considered Defiled, is by even the most virulent hordes of Nurgle, is a disgustingly impressive feat indeed. He's got a lovely bit of flavor text that we will take the time to read. But as you build up your allegiance with Kazak, he will actually be gaining access to more Chaos Chariots of Nurgle, which you would not normally get access. Well, I figured you normally get access to them with Nurgle, but maybe not anymore. I could also be just pretending as well. This may have been always a Warriors of Chaos thing. You also get the Rot Knights from Kazak, and the ToD Dragons as well, which Colossal Beast is a understatement. These things are destroyers of worlds. You get more than one of them in an army, and watch them wreck. For his actual abilities you'll gain through building up those allegiance points, we'll be able to enable attrition for enemy armies in Kazak's current province, and then we'll also have a chance of plague spreading plus 20% for all armies, which is very, very good. So does he come stat with this icon of Decay? Wasting Sickness. 55 meters is huge, so everyone in that 55 meter radius, as long as he's fighting, is going to have less mass, less weapon damage of both the normal and armor-piercing variant, which is excellent. And he also gets 15 more charge bonus. He is only on, I guess, Rot Beast back, so he is a cavalry hero only. So a bloodthirsty knight dedicated to the cause of rot and ruin. The Kurgan warrior Kazak the Defiled is dedicated all to the service of Nurgle, Lord of Decay. The rotting pestilent mass that was once his flesh is untouched by pleasure or pain. Even should such a feeling be possible, he could not give voice to it, for his vocal cords are no more than an open wound. He is a unfortunate soul here. Not even his soul remains to him. Oh, he is not a soul, for it was offered to the Plague Father as a trinket long ago. Now Kazak stands as nothing but a testament to the full horrors of Nurgle's blessing. Indeed. Welcome. We actually have to purchase access to the Chaos Chariots, so we would get one of them. No armor piercing out of these guys and really, really low melee attacks. You do want to keep them charging, but we'll try to make use of them. Welcome, Kazak. Foul joins our cause. Look at this little gathering of awful lads just sitting around the campfire having some Nurgly mushrooms, or Nurgly marshmallows, that is. You don't tend to... I guess it could be either or. Contagion pledged. So as he pledges his fealty more, his army will go up to 20% more movement range. Pretty insane indeed. We get a little bit more favor, and Tamurkhan's favorite of Nurgle trait has actually advanced. Improved. Really? So that was his favored son trait, which is where we're at here. That was the passive. So Nurgle's favorite son. 24 defense, 20% resistance. That's what was upgraded. It looks exactly the same as it was before. So I'm not sure exactly what that's telling us, but apparently his traits are going to increase as we are gaining more lads. We already had Feast of the Maggot Lord, where if he drops below a certain amount of health, he can't die, heals, and then does an absolute ton of damage to the nearby Lord or Hero and is in the range. And we should have already had the Rotting Host, but maybe this was the new boon good old Tamurkhan gained. So this is going to give us, in 35 meter radius around Tamurkhan himself, enemy weapon damage can be dropped and leadership by 4. Pretty dang good. Tamurkhan's unbreakable, because of course he is. Let's do good old Root Marcher. We'll get Inspiring Presence as well, burn through those first 3 very important traits, and start working down his champion line here. Make Tamurkhan the monster we all know he can be. Dropping leadership by an additional 8, and then the old Mortis Engine, 16 to 32 damage per second. That's not going to be too strong at all. We are not going to be a tidal wave of death. Good old Kazak starts on a Rot Beast. Let's actually show him off. Yeah, now he's good and nasty. Unfortunate looking little dinosaur feet he's got here, but yeah, he's just a very, very unique looking rot beast, or rot knight, which has a horrible face. He's got the Sword of Filth, which enables magical attacks, 3 more Nurgle Corruption, 6 attack, and then 20 more armor piercing. Sword of Filth is an activated ability that will spread to 5 enemies and drop their melee defense by 24 and armor by 30. Good grief. Then we've already seen the Icon of Decay. And they've actually got a set bonus, which is going to give him 5% ward save and even more corruption. He's a bringer of nasty. We'll go ahead and make you a Blade Master. We don't want to spread control yet, because I'd like to punch some more Norscan peasants and take their things. So welcome, Kaizek. We aren't able to recruit any chieftain units, but they're going to be recruited the same as your normal mercenaries, where they cost no gold, just upkeep. And you have a capacity of 8 of them per army that we can probably increase through other means. And that's pretty cool. Now, while we're here, is there any other upgrades we can do to the Gallows Tree? Infections and control? No thanks. We want growth. Then we'll also go ahead and come on in here. There is a brand new Chaos Lord of Nurgle. He looks proper awful. I'm glad that they gave them their own very unique model. The Chaos Lords also look really great for Zinch. All of the different glowing eyes just all over the armor they have. It's probably smartest to grab a Spellcaster since we don't have one yet. Really like to try the new units, so... New units it is over pure cleverness. Let's grab Iglixius Galdaman. Him and his unearthly reflexes.
Lord of Nurgle.
Oh, he's got a little wee horn sticking out of his... This one's rather raw looking. You put some aloe on that one. He is horrible looking. Love the corroded armor and the fluffy cape. He can actually go up to Rot Beast as well, which is pretty dang good. Increasing all of his stats by a pretty huge margin, just makes him a little bit of a larger target. Almost never going to put them on a Chaos Chariot. Almost never. So they've got Paragon of Decay and Plague Mark, same as their Sorcerer Brethren. They've just got Skull Crusher, Rampant Destroyer, and Unflinching Soldiers, which is going to be the same as the one you get for your Cornate Exalted Chaos Lords, or normal Chaos Lords. They don't quite get to be exalted. His ability just being Rot or Die, so extra melee reflection and leadership. It spreads to 6 allies in the range, so it's not so much a radius ability as one that spreads out. Interesting. Alright. Got some pretty hefty stats there. 100 armor. No armor piercing on that axe, sadly, so we'll make do. Tamurkhan, you need more troops. Let's go some Nurglings. We'll just do 2 units of Nurglings to start here. Then we can grab Control and Growth. Don't want Controlled and Growth. Alright, let's go for increasing our Nurgly Corruption, and then we'll switch it over to the Growth one. I don't want to actually increase control yet. Negative 38 will still get a rebellion in 3 turns, which we should be able to come on back around and bop them on the noggin. And if not, so be it. Our next attack vector here being the Floating Mountain. Alright, so is there anyone that actually wants to make any deals with us? Clan Ferric. Bok the Lethal. He's fighting with the Cool Tribe, which are not enslaved by any other Chaos faction at this point in time yet. I think that's until Archaon's first turn ends, because he'll go over here and take out the Writhing Fortress and then subjugate them, so we won't make friends with Ferric. That'd be a mistake.
Tribal fury.
Nothing to do just yet. I would like to only really make friends with Archaon when he comes back around. So we will try to have a Everchosen and a Tamurkhan combined invasion force. We won't be battling over... We'll be battling over dominance this time.
Nurgle's place. These are my heralds, and the worthy have heard my call.
Oh, we get voice lines in the turns, huh? I'm here for that. We've got a new play going on over to the Gallows Tree, which is beautiful. And we need to recruit a unit from Tamurkhan's Chieftains panel, so as chieftains swear their fealty, their followers too may bow before you, offering to cut a bloody path through your enemies. Swell your army with their blades and amass a horde of legend. 2,000 favor and 2 more dominance, so it'll refund you what you used to upgrade his units. We need 2 more battles won. Then we can do that. How many more turns before we get ourselves a rebellion? Oh, it completely stabilized. Alright then. So we're gonna go back over to Lake God's Nursery. Because we aren't gonna get a rebellion at all, even after completely abusing the settlement off the start. Gallows Tree is said to be home to an unclean hag demon, shunned by her own kind. What is a hag demon? To those that please her, she divulges the foulest hidden secrets. What is a hag demon? This is going to drop the immunity duration for all future plagues and give us a higher chance for all of our plagues to spread, which is pretty dang good. Also get the Cultist Camp of Wood, dropping the cycle time for basic military buildings and construction costs for everything else. Go up to advanced for military buildings in the local province. This is an interesting enclave here. You don't get to, obviously we don't trade as chaos. Let's just go for growth first. Yes, we'll punch the gold out of our nearby neighbors.
Son of the sickly winds.
Alright, so we're gonna go this way then. See if we can't do a bit of channeling on the way over. That way we get up to the reserve amount that'll give us more movement range and melee defense. Glixus will just follow.
The unending tread.
Yeah, we'll have you do the same. Just everyone go into a channeling stance if they can.
Yes.
Move up to hate the floating mountain as soon as we're able. So you move as far as you can. You as well. Send Kazak out to actually get anyone. What is his abilities anyway? Assault Garrison, Assassinate, and Assault. So, really just want to keep him in Tamurkhan's army.
The fruit of Nurgle's garden.
Alright, well, let's see if we can get into any discussions with Archaon yet. Can indeed. And I will offer to declare war on the Exquisite Pain for you, and you will just accept it. That'll work for me. Start picking up in positive relations with Archaon. So we have to deal with Kolek. Hopefully Kolek has already made too many enemies and they're starting to poke him in his back, so we can sneak in and deal with him. We'll see though.
For Nurgle's cycle of life and death. The host will be strengthened once they kneel before me.
Agreed. Time of rot has come. Father Nurgle grants unto us his greatest gift. Let the entire world, or let the world entire, be remade in his festering image. Fecundity. Priest Kazak's fouled fealty to a line. Every act of savage violence gladdens the hearts of Nurgle's faithful. Should you deign to slaughter their enemies on your bloody path of conquest, the chieftains of filth and sickness will soon worship at your feet. 3,000 more favor and some dominance.
Maggot.
Power us along there. Now before we leave, let's go ahead and grab... I really want to leave Plague Bearers to other units, so let's go for just some more Nurglings for now. We'll go numbers more than anything else to start. Cheap numbers. And then we'll charge on in. Can't quite reach. We'll come on in camp stance. And Glix can follow, still channeling. Perfect. Let's see if Kolek wants to come up and play. Heroes to recruit. Get another Lord, but I think that would be pretty goofy. Instead, let's come on into Precipherous Life. Get ourselves a little bit more casualties captured. Then from there, we'll come on back down and grab melee attack for non-demonic. Humanity is a virus. Melee defense, weapon strength, and ward save for our big ogre boys. But this is just for our great and clean ones, which we don't really have any. It's going to be quite some time before we get some great and clean ones. More mass for our Rot Knight sounds very good, though. This will be for Chaos Chariots as well. So as soon as we're done with that, let's come on over to Specimen Collection and grab the Ravenous Tadpoles.
Gifts for the host.
Gifts for the host. And Ferric is not at war with the Warhost of the Apocalypse anymore, but I don't trust that that's going to remain, so we're not going to make any deals with Skaven. This would be a mistake.
I will bring the taint of Nurgle to them.
So did he just retreat? That looks like he's down here. Inger retreated back down to one of their other settlements. So Tamurkhan, you come on in. Let's go ahead and deal with the floating mountain. Same battle we've already fought a couple times. Let's encircle and just see how kind or unkind the auto-resolve is to us. Blixus, you come past. That way we're not getting attacked from the south at all.
This way!
Have Tamurkhan finish these poor guys off with an auto-resolve.
Fall upon their ranks!
Fall upon their ranks. Go ahead and sack the settlement. You get an additional dominance. And we don't even necessarily need to claim the floating mountain yet. We could just sit outside. Oh, I would really like to replenish properly. We'll come on into the floating mountain and we will go ahead and loot and occupy. Causing a rebellion over the challenge would be great. We can repair the 2-minute hollow here and then construction cost reduction. No, let's just go for more gold while we're sitting here. Microbial bog for some cash money.
Son of the sickly wings.
Go ahead and grab Inspiring Presence to build up more leadership aura effect. That way our Nurgly demons are staying to fight a little bit longer. Isaac will give more melee defense.
Leader of the putrid house.
Alright. Slow start, of course, but that tends to be how Nurgle works. We will try to use Eclixus as a bait here in a bit, because he's going to keep building up troops down here in Dragon's Death, and he's going to probably just sit there and wait with their overlord looking over their shoulder. Alright, Pestiferous Life. When the flesh can bear no more lesions, the spirit seeks release. So enlisten is Nurgle's love that he does not permit this misguided folly. There are always more gifts to bestow. Indeed. So we'll come on back over to our military side now, since we're about to have a pretty mean brawl with Kolek. Funny thing is, it's not really going to matter in time. What we're going to do instead, come on up to Maddening Crowds and Carcinogenic for more growth and control.
Imbuing rot and ruin.
Tamurkhan, my friend, you come on out and let's drop into an ambush. He'll make like an F-35 and make his Zell scarce. Ecliptus, you come to about the edge of our territory here.
Fetid and vile is our spore. Favored warrior.
I want Tamurkhan to actually be able to go in front of him.
Beyond my
Sneaky, sneaky Maggot Lord.
master of house. Fellow warrior.
Let's stay in front. Ingru's going to try to build up some more troops. If he doesn't get any more in time, we'll just move on in. We should be able to win that battle with very minimal casualties there. Alright, Tamurkhan, we need to give you more defense. He's already got his gold sigil sword and his banner of unholy victory, but we don't have a lot besides. Our units are either too expensive or we don't have any, so we're waiting for a turn or two. You guys have any other wars that we could jump in on as mercenaries?
The fates agree.
Looks like not yet. Fates agree. Alright, man. Kolek right off the bat, huh? What a nightmare. We need to raise Nurgle corruption in the province to 70. So Kolek has come on up. He doesn't know that Tamurkhan's here, but it looks like he's ready to throw hands. What if we retreat just a bit? And I'm tempted to go for this. He has pretty strong units, though. And of course, Kolek himself is a monster. You already have Star Crusher? We're what, 3 turns in? Good for you, man. That makes taking down
Desolation for all!
Oleg that much more scary. Alright, we'll give Tamurkhan one more unit of good old Plague Bearers here. We don't have a lot else that we can go for. If we attack Oleg now, we have to fight everyone at once, which is a no-go. Tamurkhan, you fall back. Do you have any better chance to succeed in our ambush anywhere else here? Not even in the woods. Tamurkhan's not very sneaky, is he? Set up here. Glixus, you are full up on magic, so you just kind of fall back into the floating mountain. Feeling good and weak there. Dealing with Kolek right off the bat. He already has himself a Hell Cannon. What are we supposed to do against the Hell Cannon? Well. Alright, so we've got the maddening crowd. Some guided, misguided hosts to be attempt to refuse Nurgle's pestilent bounty. Once the grey fever consumes their minds, they shall see the truth and welcome him into their hearts. More line of sight and more control. We have now successfully completed our corrupted growth as well, giving us a few more infections, which we can now use to, I think, spread a little bit of a plague on over to Kolek. So select Tamurkhan, come on into our plague menu here. Let's concoct something nasty. We don't have any super great options. Let's go for good old attrition. Giving yourself fleshy abundance would be awesome. And dropping the battle healing cap for all of his trolls could also be pretty insane. Dropping their melee defense by 4 is also pretty useful, and then armor by an additional 15. Let's do this though. We'll drop their speed. And fleshy abundance for ourselves. So maybe we'll fight them and we'll drop this plague down on ourselves into them. So we'll give ourselves Vanguard, that way we can deploy right in front of. We have a plague. We've got liquefying lungs on currently. Oh, no, this is what we're about to make. Yeah, we'll infect right up. This will allow us to deploy right in his face with Tamurkhan's entire squad. We'll give ourselves an additional unit of Plague Bearers. I'm tempted to combine these guys up because 1 or 2 blasts with the Hell Cannon will see them retreating pretty fast. Bring a Glixus on out. In channeling stance, because there's often traits for you for winning battles in channeling. Well, just taking more leadership in melee defense sounds like the good idea here. And we can even maybe do the same with Tamurkhan, where we can encamp up and attack him. More leadership in melee defense. Now you're not able to initiate battles in encamp stance. Fair enough. Thinks we are going to have a Pyrrhic victory here against Kolek. Isaac isn't completely unbreakable. We could give the Banner of Unholy Victory over to him. 559, so he boosted even more than Tamurkhan would. And that bonus for his infantry armor piercing will be great against hunting down the Sorcerer of Tzeentch here. Alright. We'll try to attack them between these 2 choke points, that way. And they do have a Tzeentch Sorcerer, but he's got a weird selection of spells here. Green magic and blue fire instead of pink fire. Weird. Starcrusher's gonna be terrifying though, so he's gonna be able to boost his attack even further. 50% more armor piercing. What's that? That's adding 400 more weapon strength or so, about 350. Pretty insane. The Maggot Lord versus the Tempest. Alright, so we're going to definitely want to use our Vanguard deploy. They are all the way to the back with the Hell Cannon, but if we move in and get engaged, they won't be able to blast the Hell Cannon up and over the top nearly as effectively. So we will charge on in from, I guess, here. And if I were you, I would probably take this win with the auto-resolve, but it'd be lame to take down Kolek in such a way, so we'll try to win this one here. We'll do Plague Bearers in the secondary position, because I'd like them to be kind of a second wall. I want them back just far enough where the Hell Cannon missing shouldn't hit them as well. We'll do Tamurkhan right in the center. I want Kaizek. There is a good place for you. Maybe we move up the flank here with some of our Rot Knights to go after these other Warhounds. And we can do the ToDs in the center here. They can go either way. Nurgle with Tamurkhan. Then our Lord will take a minute 58 to arrive. He's going to be useful, but I think it'll be alright to kind of ignore that reinforcement. He'll charge up and over the top and help out once things are really engaged. Ogres on this side. Pretty nasty army here for Golek. All our infantry and then our plague toads and such. Right then, we're gonna want to grab all these guys here. We're gonna go forward immediately as soon as the battle's commenced. Forward, toads, you move up this flank here. Crush these guys quickly. Tamurkhan, I'm gonna see if I can't just have you go straight after the Hellcan in the back line. Meanwhile, our beast throws down with these aspiring champions. Chop them to bits. Brawl with these champions. Try to send Tamurkhan even past. Charge to these aspiring champs just fine. Them I want gone. Oh, come on now. There we go. Ogres, get in there.
Let's go, boys.
Kaizek's squad. I'm gonna have Kaizek go up and around. Let's drop these fools' armor and defense. Give me a pretty quick way through there. Pescadors need to move up and start chopping through the back line here. Tamurkhan, we will give you a little bit more melee defense and a ward save. I need Kaizek to get around and get into these hell cannons quite badly, actually. Actually, Plague Ogres, you get them. You're the only one that's actually free. Take a few hits, but that's fine. If I can get Kaizek away, he can get up and get them as well. These toads can brawl with these trolls. Ah, they got caught. Come on up and through. Pescadors, you come on too. Keep cutting through those dragon ogres. Looks like we're losing some Nurglings, which is to be expected. Fleshy abundance yourself.
Blessings of Decay.
Alright, Kaizek's got him, so come on around and just kind of smash into the back of these marauders here. We'll also keep healing up Tamurkhan.
We are the plague.
Get these trolls to run. Now we've got everyone focusing on the ogres, which is bad news bears for them. We did lose one of our Nurglings. Fighting Kolek, so it's very expected. Kaizek should maul the Hell Cannon. You come on in and find any extra unit to brawl with. Looks like we lose lots of Nurglings here. Very fair. Rip through those Dragon Ogres. They're going to struggle against normal infantry.
Ready to defy.
Do you on the Ogres, Toads, try to pull through and hit the Marauders. Kaisek's killing the last of the Hell Cannon, then he can circle back around to save our army abilities. Tamurkhan fights Kolek. Those aspiring champions on their back foot. 2 left over in the Hell Cannon. I think it can still fire as long as it's got crew, so we'll have to make sure they're all gone. Come on, Toads, you got that. Alright, Kaizek, you come back over and help out your lads by ripping through those Marauders. Now we're losing a secondary group of Nurglings there, which is no good.
Cleave and contaminate.
Come on. We want all of our great weapon guys going after these warriors.
Make claim.
Keep them good and poisoned. Almost have enough for the heals, which Tamurkhan's going to absolutely need. Weaken these Dragon Ogres' melee defense and armor. Get these Ogres back out so they can charge in one more time. All Nurglings we have to sacrifice are perfectly acceptable. Heal Tamurkhan once more. He is coming up on his healing cap, which is concerning. Even that Nurgle's favorite son. That's the end of the trolls. Kaizek, you come back around, and let's hit these aspiring champs. Unit has been wiped out. Yeah, we've lost most of our Nurglings here, which is honestly completely expected. Tamurkhan, you come a little ways away. Let's try to slow Kolex, we can't chase. I don't want him to lose so much health that he's not able to actually use his favorite son. The horrible ability where it rips out and nomming on your face. Keep casting, fool. Ain't no one scared. That's caster gone. Turn back around and go after Kolek. That leadership loss. Big axe versus big hammer. Everyone's got an Achilles. Even Kolek,
Son of Nurgle.
who is shattered.
Pierce flesh.
Ears, flesh. Beautiful. We will send all of our fast movers after his trolls, make sure they go nowhere. Rod Knights, you have a good deal of fun routing them up. Those trolls are going to be able to escape. Let's make sure this Spellcaster does not. And Kolek, there's no chance of catching Kolek. Kaisak actually may be the only one who's able to. So weak, we're going to leave him alive. I will do what I can to run down the rest of these poor fools, and I will catch you guys in a moment. And in a first dazzling display of might, Kolek's Sun Eater is backhanded through a wall, although it is quite the taxing battle for Tamurkhan himself. We will take the... Infections are quite tempting, but let's go ahead and snag the additional gold.
Send them to the Fly Lord.
Send them to the Fly Lord. Count has been slain, and now we've got Stormblight. Defeating Kolek gives us an additional 20 bonus versus large. That is glorious. What is Tamurkhan sitting at now? 40. Have we surpassed the mighty Kolek himself? Yes, we have indeed. So in terms of bonus versus large power, no one is stronger than Tamurkhan. We're going to make that even better here by giving him more melee defense when throwing hands with Kolek.
Warlord and Conqueror.
Isaac will give you more training.
Lord of
Elixis, let's go
Nurgle.
for Brute Marcher and Dominating Presence. That way you also gain a little bit of experience every turn. We didn't even apply our Potion of Speed. How foolish. We'll give this to Tamurkhan so he has a little bit of a rocket boost to escape from danger. We've got count them, 2 Dominance, so we can go ahead and grab an additional... It'll take quite some time to get more Rot Beasts, so let's give ourselves some Chaos Chariots.
Favored of Nurgle.
Root them in right away. Do these guys come in at max strength? Ooh, they do. That makes them even stronger than normal Nurgle units. So amassing the horde will give us 2,000 more treasury and some more dominance, which is glorious. You can upgrade the gallows tree, but Zanbaijin needs one more, huh? Nurgle has some very interesting upgrade paths here. Let's go for the Nurgle hollow at the gallows tree. Speed us along towards the unique building there. Now, there's no more units in our pool, so let's just move on in and deal with Kolek.
Nurgle's champion.
Iglixis, you can come on with. Give you some more skill points. See if it allows us to auto-resolve this fight. No, we would lose both of our Plague Bearers. We very well could, but I don't think we will, especially since we dealt with your artillery support. Once more, the Storm versus the Maggots. Alright, Kolek, even with a very small sliver of health, is still quite a threat to Tamurkhan. I think they're both about one hit apart from falling. We might have them have a titanic clash in the center to see who wins. We do get to deploy Vanguard, so let's just get up in their face. We only have one unit of Nurglings left, so we'll have to consolidate our army just a little bit more. These chariots should be able to wreak absolute havoc on those poor warhounds.
For the Maggot's Lord.
Both the elite
We are the foul.
blade infantry there, then we'll get the Pestigores to come on in behind.
We are the foul.
Sounds good. Rot Knights with ToDs. Isaac with them. And our ogres ready to find a juicy flank. Let it begin. First, have everyone just kind of come up. We don't want to give any attack orders yet because it looks like they're going to try to retreat a little ways away from us before actually engaging, so we'll have Kaisak come on up.
Son of Nurgle.
Probably initiate things. What say you, Nurgle? Or what say you, Warriors of Chaos?
The crow brings death.
Crow brings death. We're gonna send some hounds after Kaizek. He's too heavy for you to catch with hounds.
This way.
I will have the beast smash into these champs. Run through here.
Mutilation. Glorious bloodshed.
Big blob.
Destruction. Kill them all.
Have the hound dogs come on in and catch these trolls from keep them from moving. Tamurkhan, you go hunt down Kolek himself.
Onwards.
We'll drop the melee defense on, I think, these dragon ogres with that spread about.
Virulent warfare. Bringer of desolation.
Heal yourself, Tamurkhan.
Cycle
Give yourself more speed. Oh, we didn't get the heals off.
Blessings of decay.
Oh, they sent the, how disrespectful. Our poor chariots. They might be able to escape, though.
Despair in tow.
Slow these dragon ogres so they shouldn't be able to catch them. The disrespect. They sent them purely after our chariots. Tamurkhan healed up quite nice. Let's go ahead and give him Nurgle's favorite son. I think we need to get a little ways away from Kolek. He's pretty mean. Down with the bloody big head. Most dramatic front flip demise there ever was, but that's the end for the Eater of Suns.
Bring rot. Make war.
You get away from them. Let's get the great axes to work together on the dragon ogres. Isaac can go right on in as well, and then we'll have Tamurkhan smash again. Should finish them off nicely. There's a glorious win. Let's hit the speed up real quick. Hunt down these dragon ogres. Actually, we're fast enough that shouldn't even need to. It's not the secondary battle against them, so we will have to fight them, I think, one more time. If there's any left over, but that'll be just fine because we can get ourselves some more dominance. Alright, we'll take a decisive win. Only the champions and trolls remain. We will this time take... Ooh, still a lot of gold to be had. This time we will take the experience, or the extra punishment, that is. Blade ship captain for even more movement range on Tamurkhan, which is beautiful. And now we'll kind of move on over to get ready to throw down with Aaron of the Gore Hunt. Tamurkhan, what about another sneaky little play here? Where there's no way Karen has anything too intimidating. Marauder Horsemen are pretty much the best idea. So let's fall back to about this position on the plateau. Elixis, you can kind of hang out behind him. We need 3 more wins to get to the aligned level. That way we can unlock Rot Knights and an additional chariot. Chariots weren't great there against all those trolls, but I think against the Norskins we're going to see them rip and tear. Tamurkhan. Loaded carcass. He can become filled with bloat. Voice of the Dark Gods for more leadership aura size. The other great thing about Nurgle is they get upkeep reduction in the first tier. I think maybe are a really good call. Let's get Fetid Stench, and we'll circle back down to Blessed by Blight. By then we'll definitely have his unique skills up and running. Let's go Deadly Blade for him.
Hand of rot.
Isaac will get hard to hit. Kaizek? Lucas didn't gain any skills there because he was too busy sitting in the back watching. And we're actually going to get any new units until we start putting in some more military buildings, so it's time to start gathering up some more infections. Sooner rather than later. The Tusked Sons are brawling with the Dolgan and Heralds of the Tempest. We could snag a non-aggression pact with them for 800 gold. And we can't bring them at Nurgle's sweet, sweet glory. So I'm not going to do that. Enjoy your life while you still can. It's about to get much more stinky.
Wither and die, scum.
Wither and die, scum. We must break for war so the altars of our masters can be built and the slaves sacrificed. Feel like that's That's quite astute of you, but here's the problem. Hear what Tamurkhan said? Olin of the, or Karen, I guess, of the Dogor Hunt moves in to throw hands. If we were to auto-resolve it, we would once again try to lose our Plague Bears. They're so low on health that we might lose them anyway, but 3,000 is still more than most heroes. That's pretty impressive for only 26 models. Alright, well, we'll begin in the next episode with a battle once more against the Dolgan. Have to keep asserting our dominance somehow. Thank you all so much for stopping by our first episode here in the Maggot host campaign. If you all enjoyed, remember to leave a like for Light God and a sub for the Sub Throne. I'll see you all in the next one.